morning. I'm Navbahor, Imamova.
And I'm KOKAB FARSHORI. Welcome to Voice of America's special broadcast, USA Votes 2010 from Washington, D.C.'s NEWSEUM, the Museum of News and Media.
On Tuesday, we witnessed history as the Republican Party regained control of the United States House of Representatives, promising to reshape the American political landscape.
Now, what message did the American voters send to the politicians through these elections? How will Washington change? And what impact will the results of these elections have on the U.S. foreign policy, global economy, and the 2012 presidential elections?
Those are the questions we will be focusing on in the next hour here at the NEWSEUM with our live audience and the brilliant group of analysts and thinkers who will help us understand this complex and fascinating world of American politics and its global impact.
But before we analyze what happens next, let's recap and see what happened on Tuesday, the November 2nd. And for this, we turn to Barış or Nerle of Voice of America's Turkish service. He's joining us live from the capital. Yes, Barış.
Hi, KOKAB. Strong Republican victory in Tuesday's midterm elections. The people have spoken and they've expressed their dissatisfaction with the economy. As it stands right now, with some races still outstanding, the Republicans have gained control of the House of Representatives with 239 seats against 187 for the Democrats. In the Senate, it's a little different. The Republicans have made significant gains, but the Democrats were able to retain control of the Senate. The balance of power there is 53 to 46 in favor of the Democrats. A considerable defeat for the Democrats and President Obama, a defeat that he acknowledged. In fact, he described it as a shellacking.
The opposition Republican Party rode a wave of discontent over the economy and unemployment and retook control of the U.S. House of Representatives while making significant gains in the U.S. Senate Tuesday. Republican gains in the U.S. Congress will likely make the second half of President Barack Obama's first term harder to navigate, especially on contentious domestic issues. But the 112th Congress could also impede the administration's foreign policy goals. The midterm elections resulted in a resounding defeat of Obama's Democratic allies in the House of Representatives.
The American people have sent an unmistakable message to him tonight, and that message is change course.
With the stronger Republican caucus in the new Congress, the president will likely face stronger opposition, especially on issues like spending and taxation, financial regulation, health care, immigration, and energy reform. But how will the new Congress impact American foreign policy? Although it is the president who shapes the foreign policy of the United States, Congress has a role to play. A Republican-dominated House of Representatives may attempt to steer U.S. foreign policy in a conservative direction. And in practicality, members of Congress have some tools at their disposal. Congress has budgetary authority. The president's budget request must be approved by Congress. This includes funding for the State Department, foreign operations, and foreign aid. Tuesday's Republican victory also secures the chairmanship of several pertinent House committees, including Foreign Affairs, Armed Services, and Homeland Security. Committee chairman's prerogative to hold investigative hearings will likely impact the foreign policy agenda. Can Republican gains in the Senate affect the ratification of the New START treaty? 67 votes are needed in the Senate, and a strong Republican opposition could make ratification out of reach.
Ratification of the New START treaty with Russia now becomes less likely, and I don't think many European states are going to find that very good news.
One important update on ratification. The president gave a strong indication that he wanted the START treaty to be ratified in the lame duck session of the Senate before the new Congress convenes in January. Two general questions remain. Having just lost an election largely on domestic issues, will the president pursue a bold foreign policy in the next 2 years, the 2 years that lead up to the 2012 presidential election? And the second question is, will the Republicans use their newfound numbers to oppose the president on foreign policy issues as well as domestic issues? That remains to be seen. Back to you, KOKAB, in the NEWSEUM.
Thank you very much, Barış. And this is exactly what we'll be doing during this hour, getting answers from our panelists of all and these questions. Yes, ma'am.
Exactly, KOKAB. And now we're in our studio with our live audience and the first group of outstanding analysts and minds. The focus is on diplomacy and security, which are the main pillars of American foreign policy. So welcome to all of you. We are joined by Ambassador Wendy Chamberlin, who is president of the Middle East Institute, and served as U.S. ambassador to Pakistan from 2001 to 2002. We have Barbara Slavin, who is the author of a 2007 book titled Bitter Friends, Bosom Enemies, Iran, the United States, and the Twisted Path to Confrontation. She was also senior diplomatic reporter for USA Today for 12 years.
We are also joined by General Barry McCaffrey. He's a national security and terrorism analyst for NBC and served as director of the White House Office of National Drug Control Policy. We're also joined by Ken Adelman, the former U.S. ambassador to the United Nations and arms control director during the Reagan administration. And we are also delighted to have a live studio audience here at the NEWSEUM. They'll have an opportunity to ask questions from our panelists. And you can also join us during this discussion by sending your questions via email at usavotes2010@voanews.com or through Twitter at #USAVotes or through Facebook. Our name is Voice of America. Yes, Navbahor.